Hey everybody, Christopher Bruce, and we love getting lost in people's worlds, but right now it's all about COVID-19. So we're digging into another COVID conversation with Brianna from InWilmDE.com, the InWilm campaign. What's going on? I mean, how is your world right now?
Well, it turned upside down, just like everyone else's. The first 2 weeks when I think everybody was still trying to figure out what was going on, how long this would last. Not that we're not still asking those questions. The first 2 weeks were really just trying to adapt, and I mean, everything that we do is events, so just trying to capture the correct information and make sure that we were up to date with postponements and cancellations and things that had gone virtual. And I really do feel like the first 2 weeks was just getting lost in a data entry hole. But it really shifted, what we do kind of overnight. So we went from promoting all of these fantastic large gatherings to promoting virtual events and more of our blog content, which has been a great, creative kind of exercise for us. But it's been a lot, and it's very, very different. But the coolest thing I think is seeing how everybody else is adapting and rolling with the punches and all of this.
Yeah, I think we all have to, we kind of look back and we think about life before COVID. And we kind of look at where we are now, and it's kind of amazing. Some of the stuff that you took for granted, some of the things that you just sort of kind of knew were normal, are very different now, very quickly. And like you said, you were trying to promote large events, people getting together close, pack them in a room kind of idea. And the idea of doing that right now is so like, no, don't, like so foreign that it's almost amazing, actually. So what's it going to be like? What do you anticipate, the future of events and with you guys as you're looking, once this all sort of settles down, how is that all going to kind of roll in, you think?
I mean, I think at some point, next year somewhere, we're gonna get back to normal. But I hope that this will, make certain organizations that weren't already doing this sort of thing before, realize that they have the power to connect with their audience in ways that they might not have been doing year round if they're
Sure.
just putting large performances up on stage, and going about the way that they've always traditionally operated. A friend of mine actually owns a yoga studio, and she took over the ownership of it not too long before all of this happened. So she was still kind of settling in, and overnight she had to close her doors and, didn't really have any other source of income. So she's just, one of many small businesses that I'm watching adapt, create virtual online content that now opens up their world far beyond, the city that they're in. So I think that's another thing that is really cool to think about. I hope that we see these organizations continue to connect to their audiences in
Yeah,
virtual ways and
I
expand their
love
base.
that. I've always, it's funny. One of the things that I've always looked at and I've loved about Wilmington is its location. And there's so many people that I've seen that get really lost in just focusing on their block, their street, their little pocket of the community. And you know what? That's great. You want to obviously support and engage and take part. Hey there, what's going on, buddy?
This is Apollo.
How's it going? It's like the pillow
Unexpected
just
guest.
came alive. The pillow
Yeah.
right there. It's like, whoa. But I've always looked at Wilmington as an amazing opportunity because of its central location. We're right in the heart of New York, Philly, Baltimore, DC, and this entire East Coast corridor, which is the largest population center in the country, that we're like this amazing dock. And it's really about how far you can cast
Yeah.
and do that efficiently, but be based right here. And this has forced people to think outside of their little pocket, right?
Yeah.
Their little corner, their street, in a way that I think will be kind of cool moving forward, where it kind of makes us all think a little bigger and just puts a new lens and a new perspective on kind of how we operate and what we do every day.
Absolutely. Thinking bigger for sure. And then that just kind of set the light off of thinking smaller too. Like I'm seeing the
Hmm.
shift of people supporting smaller businesses. I've made it a point every time I get paid, like I spent over $100 at Brandywine Coffee Roasters
Yeah,
because
I
I
saw
need
you said
coffee.
you were like $130 specifically was the
It
number
was
I saw, which was pretty awesome. But that's great, you know?
But one of the things, so they're doing some cool things. I don't know how much you personally know about them, but Todd Purse is their artist that does all the artwork for
Yeah,
their bags and posters and
super
stuff.
cool.
He's also the drummer for the Headies, so they put out. I had to plug this, of course, being local music. They
Yeah.
put out a nice coffee vinyl poster, but the poster's already on my wall, combo. And they also have a social distancing blend right now that it's a pack. It's a $30 pack of coffee and a T-shirt, and $10 goes back to support their employees. So I've been trying to do whatever I can to support, the local businesses, the local musicians, the local workers that are
Yeah.
out of business right now.
No, I mean, we love that. We have a recording studio, so I love supporting the artists and the music. And, I was thinking you were talking about the social distancing blend. That just somehow in my head, I start thinking is like no bean was within 6 feet of another, so like they separate them on, the lot. So it's just like the things that are coming out of this are just kind of, amazing. And I think it's a really important, it's important to support those local businesses. We put out a message the other day. It was just trying to do something really simple, but just remind people that yes, it's different. Yes, it's not, what you're used to. And it may be a little bit more challenging, but there are ways to still connect with these businesses. The curbside pickup and go is a new thing that now is so normal and
We have
such it's
takeout margaritas and growlers.
I mean, it's like now people are like, what can I deliver? What can I pick up? How ridiculous can we go, right? Like, and the gift card campaigns that you've seen go out, like so many restaurants have been putting out really interesting, like incentive-based programs to get people to just say, listen, I know you might not be able to use this right now, but when things do reset, you're going to be able to, and this is going to help us bridge this gap and get through this, this time right now. And it's just kind of fun. It's fun to see people innovate. And I really, one of the things I want to do is encourage people to continue to push forward. It's easy to get lost in the home kind of lockdown, binge watching, unproductive mentality. I mean, I think everybody goes through at least a period of that because it's just such a shift, but don't get lost in it too long because you never know how long this is going to last and you don't want to be
Right.
just falling behind. I mean, that's one
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. I definitely went, just on a personal note, I definitely went through that. I took the first
Yeah.
2 weeks I was so busy with, trying to keep all of our listings up to date that I didn't really even think about the fact that we were kind of in quarantine. And then
Right.
the next 2 weeks kind of hit me like a ton of bricks because I'm used to being go, go, go. I mean, at least 5 nights a week after work, work happy hours, events, whatever the case may be, I'm out.
Yeah.
I usually dragging my kid along. We don't
Right.
get home until bedtime and
How is
doing it all
Harlow, by
over
the way?
again.
Is she doing well?
Oh, she's fantastic.
Uh,
I was worried being, locked in a house that she was gonna go crazy, but she's been bouncing back and forth between here and her dad's enough that it's a good change of scenery for
Perfect.
her. But yeah, I know she misses. I mean, she's a social kid. We're social butterflies. It's
Yeah.
weird. And the week 3 and 4, it hit me hard. Like, oh, I'm alone. What do I do now? And it took me. I went through the binging, the Netflix binging
Yeah, sure.
thing. But I came
I
out the
mean,
other end and got like a clean house and looking at stuff on my
I
walls that I should
literally
have
I
hung
have
2 years
paint
ago.
on my arm because I'm literally doing home. I mean, who isn't doing something to improve their house? I mean, you sit here and you stare at the wall long enough. You're like, I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna fix that.
So it's been good. I think we all, needed a reason, even if it's not the best reason in the world. We needed a reason to slow down. and appreciate, what was around us. So I think this has really forced all of us to do that in different ways.
Yeah, I mean, I think perspective is one of the greatest gifts. And I do say it a lot, but it's because I value it. I think the more perspective we can have and remind ourselves to think about, the more we do appreciate those moments and the things that we have. And you gain perspective a lot of different ways. You gain it through travel, you gain it through experiences, you gain it by reflecting and taking those steps back and looking around. And sometimes, whether you like it or not, life's going to throw something at you that's going to force you
Yep.
to think about it. And that's what, I mean, if this hasn't done that, yeah, I don't know what will really.
Yeah, I mean, just despite obviously the horrible things that are
Sure.
happening right now, and everybody that is fighting this, it's been one of the greatest, I think, blessings in disguise for me personally. And
Yeah.
I hope that the community continues to heed that message, and I hope we learn our lesson and we move forward as better, more supportive, more collaborative,
More thoughtful, maybe,
yeah,
as well,
thoughtful
right?
individuals within this collective
It,
community.
and obviously you being in a space where it's about communicating and marketing the things that are going on in the city, it's really kind of an amazing to see, is as much as we've been separated, some ways we've connected more, just differently.
Oh
And
yeah,
that's been kind of cool to see, kind of cool to watch.
yeah. Again, I appreciate that I have this opportunity to do this, because otherwise I would have gone right into a workflow that would have kept me
Yeah,
really, really busy. We obviously decided not to produce our print calendar this time around because,
right.
well, even if we did, even if we put virtual content in it, there really wouldn't be many places that people could pick it up. So there were projects like that fell off my plate, that allowed, me to really shift my focus on some other things. And one of the things I'm really excited about right now is, a lot of the stuff we have in the pipeline for our blog really
Yeah,
goes beyond what we would normally cover. We're very, particularly because of how we're funded, we're very Wilmington focused, very arts,
hmm,
and entertainment focused. But this has, we've had to adapt. So we've had to kind of, diversify what we talk about. And there's some really cool things in the pipeline, great ways
nice,
that you can support the community, but also some, national arts related content too that's coming this way. So it's been nice
very
to be
cool.
able to step into a more creative role and, broaden kind of the spotlight that we're putting on things right now.
Well, that's cool, and it's encouraging, that you guys are innovating and excited about something. I think that's in itself says a lot, right? The fact that you're looking forward to some things that have, kind of developed and have evolved because of all this is nice to hear. So
Yeah, and I hope we can, keep those in that form, in that expanded form, as we continue to move forward. And I think, that's what life is all about: adapting and overcoming and making the most of it. So
that's it, right? Well, I appreciate you, spending a few minutes and checking in with us. And obviously, if you need anything, let me know. I'm here, just around the virtual corner, and we'll do what we can to support. But stay awesome, stay healthy, stay connected, and we'll chat here soon, of course. So we
same to you.
appreciate it
Have a great day.
again.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's again Brianna from In Wilm, and just another COVID conversation.